see separable verbs in German, and of course those which are inseparable. So what does it mean? Well, it is connected to prefixes. So German is such a language that when it comes to verbs, they often add certain prefixes to the verbs, and they actually completely or partially change the meaning of the verbs. So verbs with prefixes such as an, auf, aus, ein, then mit, nach, weg, and zu are always separable. Okay, and then verbs with prefixes such as be, ent, er, ver, sehr are inseparable. Okay, and then there are verbs with the prefixes durch, über, and unter, which may or may not be separable. Okay, so it depends. So let's take a look at separable verbs. For example, the verb aufstehen, which would mean to get up. First of all, to know these verbs, you first should know the normal ones, let's say regular ones. So there is always such verb as the basic one. So stehen means stand. Okay, and aufstehen means to get up. Okay, so as you see, when you add the prefix auf, it changes the meaning. Okay, it's not the same to stand and to get up. And if you think about it, get up is really, important verb you need to say when you get up. So present tense, aufstehen. How do you form the sentence with it? Well, prefixes always are at the end of the sentence in present tense. So at the end of the sentence, you don't change the prefix, but you change the basic verb, in this case stehen, normally, as you would change it in the present tense. So for example, ich stehe 7 Uhr auf. Okay, what did I do here? Well, I changed the verb in present tense because it's ich. There is the ending a normally. But I separated a prefix and I put it at the end of the sentence, and it's always at the end of the sentence. If you take a look at question forms, so it would be stehst du 7 Uhr auf? Do you get up at 7 o'clock? Okay, so that's how it functions. Let's see some other verb, such as for example, mitbringen, which would mean to take something with you. So whenever there is mit prefix, it's like with. Okay, with. So ich bringe Cola mit. So a parte. Zum Beispiel. Okay, so I will bring the drink with me. Okay, so again, and as you see, we can use something else. So bringt Cola mit. So you will always see the basic verb, and sometimes you see here it's connected. The meaning is connected, like bringen, mitbringen. Okay, more or less it's similar, but sometimes it's not totally connected. Then another one is, for example, ausgehen. Gehen means go, and ausgehen, it's like go out. So wann gehst du heute Abend aus? Which we would translate, when do you go out tonight? So as you see again, aus is at the end. However, some other verbs are inseparable, okay? They have inseparable prefixes. Zum Beispiel vergessen, which means forget. Okay, you cannot change it. There is no verb gessen. Okay, you cannot just erase. Okay, you can say ich vergesse meine Sachen oft. I often forget my things. Okay, then there is the verb besuchen, which would mean visit somebody or something. So there is here the basic verb suchen, which means to search. Okay, but here besuchen, completely different meaning, visit. Okay, for example, das Kind besucht die Oma im Sommer. Okay, so the child visits her grandma in summer. Okay, but you cannot change it. So pay attention. Like whenever you see the verb, you know, you should take a look at a prefix, notice prefix, and put it at the end. You know, gradually you will get used to it. Verbs will repeat itself, okay, a lot of times, but you know, for now, it's important to know it. Okay, next, when it comes to separable verbs connected to modal verbs, so separable verbs cannot be modal verbs, but I'm talking about a use in a sentence where modal verbs are. Well, then you don't separate it. Okay, so don't separate it. We do not separate it. The prefix. Okay, so let's see, for example, ich muss morgen, tomorrow, früh aufstehen. Okay, we would translate this as I have to, or I must get up early tomorrow. So in this case, you know, whenever there is modal verb, you change modal verb according to the person that, you know, is standing next to the verb, but the other verb goes into infinitive form, and this applies here as well. So even though we separate these, you know, when it's the only verb used in the sentence, when there are two of them, including modal verb, then you don't change it. That's how these verbs are used.